England, Andy Davidson, Ahmad Bradshaw, Elijah Riley, and John Voight. If you want to start, Ken.
Ahmad, just a hard-fought game out there. What's your thought just about the overall year? Able to beat Duke, a team that came in here 2 years ago and dominated. Today you played a very competitive game. You came out on top. What's your just thought on the overall game performance for your team?
I think the offensive line, to start with them, don't get enough credit for how well they perform and block those guys, because Duke's is a really good defense, has a really good offense. They're a good team, and the defense, they played an outstanding game as well. So, I mean, I think we're satisfied with how the outcome came.
I just asked John Boyd, a very big defensive effort, a tough a Duke team that was passing the ball, 19 completions, or a lot of intermediate passes, but you were making enough plays to win. How do you feel about the defensive effort today?
Yeah, we knew they had a lot of weapons on offense. Number 29, quarterback's also a very good player. So we had a game plan going in, and I feel like we executed that game plan pretty well. But you got to give it to Duke. They fought hard, and it was a good win for us.
I just asked Andy Davidson about the block that you had on the punt that really turned the game around and the return.
Yeah, so with a shield team like Duke has, you have to have 4 guys that are there, and 3 guys obviously get blocked. So if it was just me, obviously they would have blocked me, and it's a credit to the guys with me. They were coming after it, and I was just the lucky one that didn't get blocked.
How did you feel when you saw your teammate pick it up and run to the goal?
It's a good feeling, just putting your hand out there and feeling a large ball hit the I don't know how to explain it, but it was good. Once I think Javari Bordeaux picked it up, I believe,
yeah.
And from there he was a talented player, and we knew he was going to score.
I just asked Ryan just a little bit about getting back in, second game back after the injury, and just making plays. It seemed like you were able to put enough pressure on the Duke quarterback while also playing coverage.
Yeah, I mean, I think first it feels good to be back. It feels good to be back with with the brotherhood and get back on the field with them. And I think the defense played a pretty good game. I think obviously we'd like to put up 16 less points that they put up on us, but at the same time, I think we had a good game plan. They're a good team. They're a talented team. They had a good quarterback, good receiver, and good running back. So I think really it came down to the discipline, eye discipline, and then really just playing with fundamentals.
Right. You have family members who have served in the military. What does it mean to close your career here at Michie Stadium with a win on Veterans Day?
I think it's a huge. It really just feels great. It feels great to play in front of this fan base and play in front of the core and to accomplish one of our goals, especially on Veteran Day weekend. So I think it's a moment I'm never going to forget about, and I think it's a moment that I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
Elijah, a couple big plays from you today. First, talk about the interception. I mean, that's one of the deepest balls Duke threw all day. You were in great position. That was really important during that play, just being in the right spot, or?
Yeah, I know eventually they were going to try and take some big shots to both sides at the wideout. The D-line just did a great job of getting to the quarterback, forcing him to just throw it up there, and from there I just came down with it.
That last hit that you had on Jones, walk me through that. I mean, that's just an all-out blitz, and that was one of the hardest hits of the day.
It was a great call by Coach Bateman and Coach Will. We knew that it was going to open wide, just be wide open, and Kenny did a great job of taking on the tackle to the outside, and John did a great job of taking the guard to the middle. Opened wide up, and I just made the hit.
Josh.
John, the way that this defense played all year is stellar, and then now you add in some more pieces. Oh, there we go. With getting 4 sacks today, how big of a boost was that for this defense and going forward?
It's a huge boost. Last game against Air Force, we had Ryan and Eli come back. And these guys are huge pieces in our defense. So that's helped us a ton. But like I said, we had a great game plan going in, and Coach Bateman always talks about high energy, positive energy, and we kept that through the whole game, and we got after him.
And then Elijah, I mean, to come back and to have your second game, like in the way that you performed today, how much is it of you finally playing up to 100% and kind of having your full potential shown now?
It's been a great opportunity and great feeling to be back out on the field. You know, I owe it to a lot of the guys in the locker room for just staying on me through the 8 weeks that I was out. And, you know, just keeping me in good spirits and stuff. You know, I'm real happy to be around the guys that I am, and being on the field with them is an even greater feeling.
Ahmad, I mean, the way this season has gone, no surprise that it came down to kind of the last drive for you guys. So for you as a senior to kind of win this game the way you've kind of won games all year, grinding them out and winning, does the feeling get any better?
I mean, I think every win, you know, you get excited, and it's always good to win at home. I think it meant more to us today because we accomplished one of our goals. You know, all of them are still out there for us to get, except for being undefeated at home. We already accomplished that one, so I think that's why it meant more to us today to be able to go undefeated at home and win on Veterans Day.
I may just ask John Boyd, what does it feel like you've accomplished from your freshman year here to your senior year, going undefeated at home? You've won 2 Service Academy games now. How do you feel like the team has progressed during your tenure?
Since our class got here, I guess, you know, coming in, the culture wasn't so good, and being able to go, you know, win our 8th game, go undefeated at home this year, it's just very special to us to be part of that, you know, just building that culture, and it's been amazing. Couldn't have done it with the guys who graduated last year and the year before that, and the guys that are with us right now. It's been surreal. I don't think it's hit me yet.
I just asked Ryan the same question. How do you feel like the team during your time here has progressed and starting to achieve these major goals and winning their 5th game here in front of the core?
Yeah, I think you could just tell in the culture and then the core. I think everybody kind of expects us to win now. Whenever we first got here, it was kind of more we hope to win and we hope things kind of go our way. But I think now you can really see the players that we want to go take in. We want to go. I mean, we want to do our best, but at the same time, I think we couldn't have done it without the class before us and the class before them. I think they really started changing the culture. I think our class really embraced it, and I think the class is coming in now really embracing it too. So I think the biggest thing is just a culture change that we expect to win every single game we go play.
Coach, we'll start with an opening statement and then take questions.
First, I just want to say thank you to all those that serve, all those that have served and will serve on Veterans Day here. Just extremely grateful as an American citizen to have people who are willing to volunteer to put themselves in sometimes the most difficult of situations so that myself, my family, and all of us can enjoy the freedoms that we have here in this great country. And thankful to our players and all of our students here, our faculty and staff, and this is just a wonderful place, and what an opportunity to be a coach here, to be in a leadership position where we train leaders to go lead soldiers and lead people that will go into some difficult situations. So just a fantastic day to be able to represent the Army and the way we did it, and I think that's the best thing we could do on this day is play like we did with a lot of toughness and a lot of grit, and it wasn't perfect, but in the end it was good enough, and we represent the United States Army, proud to do that, and so I'm really proud of our team. I thought it was a hard-fought game. That's a very talented team, obviously coming out of a Power 5 conference, and look at the people that they've played, and had a great win over Northwestern, who I think has an outstanding, tough football team. They lost very close games to several ACC teams that we have a lot of respect for, and so to be able to win that game today was really a big feat for our team, and so it's exciting. Our kids are excited about the victory for sure, and it's nice to know we still got a lot of things to play for out there after this game.
Go ahead, Ken.
Coach, just a grinded-out game. It seemed like you made a couple more plays than Duke was able to do. You know, I just talked with Andy Davidson. You put him on special teams, and he blocks a punt for you. Just your thought about how the little things worked today.
We made some plays when it mattered. Getting the getting the turnovers were big. The interception by Elijah Riley was a big play. That punt block obviously was the difference in the game. And Andy's a guy that really has a knack for getting his hands on the ball on punt block. He blocked the one 2 years ago against Tulane here that we returned for the touchdown. And we've had him on the punt block team really since then. And even last year when he was our starting B-back, he was trotting out there on punt block because he is really valuable. And obviously, when you make a play like that, like we did today, it makes a difference in the football game. So that was a big play in the game, and he really ran the ball hard. He ran the ball today as well as he has all year.
So, and the Duke quarterback, Jones, had 19 completions, but they're mostly short intermediate passes. Your defense kept everything in front of them today, and you got the pressure on them. Was that just the plan going in for the game?
That's the plan every week. We don't want anybody to get behind us. When they get behind us, it's trouble. We don't often run them down, but we did, and it's frustrating sometimes to see those intermediate routes caught in front of you, the curl routes and the digs and crossing patterns, because you want the guys to play closer and play tighter. And we made a couple good plays. The one that Gibby made on the corner route on our sideline, he got the penalty after the play, but really a nice job putting his hand in there. We got called for a pass interference on their sideline on a play where we denied a pass, and perhaps it was clearly pass interference, but I thought that on that play we had really nice coverage. At least we were there. We denied with the inside hand. We were securing the tackle, and we were probably there a little bit early. I couldn't see it on the replay, and I didn't see it from my vantage point, but those are the things that you'd like to see happen more often on those pass plays, so that he doesn't complete 19 or whatever you said it was. That's a little bit more than we'd like for him to get. But I thought the guys did a great job trying to execute the plan, and where we really found ourselves having some success, especially in the second half, was getting pressure on him.
Go ahead, Josh.
Like you just mentioned, the pressure that your defense is starting to show. You pick up 4 sacks today. How much does that excite you to see that kind of performance from your defense?
Negative yardage plays against the other team are big positives. If you can put them in long yardage situations, that certainly makes it easier to get them off the field. And we were able to do that a couple of times. And Jones, we anticipated was going to run the ball some, and we thought they would try to push their run game a little bit. I think their rushing total, I didn't look at it carefully enough, but they probably gained over 100 yards and lost some on some of the sacks. But he was getting a lot of yards, particularly in the first half there, running the power play where they'd run that wide receiver across and he'd read it and knife it up there in the middle. He couple quarterback draws, and he did a nice job running the ball, and we needed to stop him and stop the run game to try to force him to be one-dimensional. But the sacks are big plays, but even bigger is put them in a situation where they got to punt it and give it back to you. Because that's really what we're trying to do, is play that game where we give them as few possessions as we can, and that's a team game, both what the offense does as well as the defense.
And you look at what Elijah Riley was able to do today, like you mentioned, the interception and then the sack, showing that versatility and the athleticism. How big of a boost is he to your defense, and how much potential does he have?
He's played really well the last 2 weeks. He made a nice tackle on our sideline. That was maybe as good a play as he had during the game. It was people noticed the sack and they noticed the interception, but to come up and stop the run like he did on the perimeter, it forced him to punt the ball to us in that drive, and he's been a great addition. I'm glad to have him back. I know he's really excited about being back out there and playing, and he's doing a good job. I hope it'll continue.
And then the way this season has gone, the last 3-4 games, emotional, hard-fought wins. You exhausted yet? I mean,
that's just the way it's going to be here. the people we play, they're talented, and more often than not, more talented than we are. I don't know if we've played any teams this year where we felt like we were just so much more talented than them. We could just roll the balls out and we'd line up backwards and we'd still beat them. There's not many games like that. We're going to have to execute very well, play great fundamentally, play really tough, and it's going to be a battle. And that's the way most of the games have been, and I expect they'll probably continue to be that way. I hope we can play well enough just to keep them close.
Go ahead, Sal. Thank you.
Coach, Elijah's talked a lot about how the team stuck by him through the process that he had to go through this season, and the coaches and the players. Can you talk about what that meant for him? You guys were still kind of thinking about him while he was waiting to get a chance to play.
There's nobody on this team that's going to get their back turned to them by anybody else. We love these guys. These guys love each other, and they're going to fight for each other and support each other. And sometimes things don't work out like we want them to, and oftentimes that's our own fault. But that doesn't mean we're going to turn our backs on anybody. And we believe in him. We care about him, and even if it didn't go his way, he's still part of this brotherhood, and we were going to continue to support him. So this is a big boost for him, and I think it's a big boost for our team to see him fight through that and the emotional toll that takes as you're sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting to find out if you're going to be able to play, and finally be able to do it and then come out and perform like he has is a boost for everybody on our team.
Were you, after his sack, were you surprised that Duke punted on a 4th and 18 and played like kind of to stop you guys and get the ball back?
I think they had 3 timeouts at a time, if I'm not mistaken. Two at least. We hadn't moved the ball all second half. We hadn't scored. It was 21 points at the half, and it was still 21 points at that juncture. So I think, you know, they thought if they went for it on that 4th and long, that was going to be it. We were going to be able to run the clock out. And as it turns out, they punted it to us, and we were able to run the clock out. But they had done a good job stopping us. We were well below our average in terms of rushing the ball, and we knew that going in. That they have a good scheme, they got good players, well coached, and that it was going to be a battle every drive. So I think they were taking their chances that they would get us stopped. They about did.
Coach, second week in a row, you've defeated a team that 2 years ago dominated Army in the games. And is this another milestone as far as how the program has improved, that you were able to play very competitively against Duke today and make an extra play, 1 or 2 more plays that won the game for you?
I think we're getting better. I think we're improving as a team. And, you know, last year's game against Duke was a big improvement over the year before. I mean, the last time out, what was it, 44-3? It wasn't very pretty. Last year was 13-6. So, and I think we outgained them a year ago. So we both punted about 46 times in the game. It wasn't very much fun to watch if you were a fan. But you know, I think we've improved. I thought we were improving last year and had a chance to win the game a year ago. And our guys just came into this game determined that they were going to try to play better and play with better effort and try to tough it out to the end. And that's just who we are. The guys sitting up here, I think they said it. It's not that we're just so much more talented than we've ever been, and we got all these you know, these weapons that are really fast and nobody can cover and nobody can get open on our DBs, or you know, we just got a bunch of guys that are tough and they're playing really hard, and that's the way we've got to win. And that's like I said, that's why it's going to be close every week. There's not going to be any games where we can just out-athlete people.
And Coach, as senior day, I still go back to your offensive line, Bryce Holland and the seniors that have really led the offense in your running game. And they're not here on the dais for post games very often, but they're still the guys that make it happen for you. What are your thoughts about your offensive linemen?
Oh, those guys are a great group of guys. They're the difference in our offense for sure. The maturity, the leadership, the determination, and you know, you mentioned Holland, and he's a great leader for that group. But Josh Boylan, you could see he was he was fighting through some aches and pains out there, and you know, was laying on the ground a couple times. He just forced himself up off the ground and got back in the huddle. Brett Toth, Mike Houghton, Rick Kurz, and the guys that have been coming in along with those guys. I mean, Jackson Deaton's been getting a lot of playing time, and Austin Schufert's been getting some, and the tight ends, especially Quentin Parker, he's getting the majority of the snaps at tight end. He's just an offensive lineman in an eligible number. I mean, if you flipped it from 85 to 58, probably nobody would really know the difference. So I think all those guys are doing a really good job.
Thanks, everybody.